Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Renee Adams Show. This week is Empowerment Week, where we have inspirational stories and powerful messages and game changing advice that can turn your life around in many aspects of your life. Tonight, I have Tiffany Hinton. She is a certified functional health coach, a second time Amazon best-selling author, and national speaker for the award-winning gluten-free and food allergen expo shows. Thank you so much for being a part of Empowerment Week. It is so nice to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Tiffany is here to share a little bit of her journey of coping with IVF and some other health ailments, which I think is really interesting. So, I'll allow you to go ahead and, tell the audience a little bit about you and your journey.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Renee. So my journey actually started when I was a teenager, and a lot of people don't realize that the stress and what we have going on as we're growing up impacts our fertility. And for myself, my gut health and the stress in my life, I don't always share this, but my dad ended up in federal penitentiary when I was 11, which contributed to more stress. And then I was raising my siblings while my mom worked third shift, right? At a very young age. And eating a standard American diet. So eating, regular packaged food, stuff that you could get at Aldi, whatever was, available for a single income family. And overall, my whole health just kind of went downhill. And so when I was 16 years old, I was having menstrual cycles that would either miss and completely skip for no explanation, or they'd go 60 days at a time. And that's something that nobody ever wants, ever. I mean, I don't even wish that on my enemy.
Right. Right, huh?
Horrible.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they told me when I was 16, you'll never have kids, right? Just face it. You're just going to you'll never have children. And at that age, I don't know, to me, I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just tell everybody I don't want kids. I don't have to face it. I don't have to deal with it. And then my health still went downhill because of the gut health and because of everything else that was going on. So where ended up being diagnosed with endometriosis and celiac disease, along with irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay, and if you can go into what that is exactly. So, yeah, okay.
So the endometriosis, potentially, it's an autoimmune condition that's very, very common in several women. It's where the tissue that is inside your uterus, the endometrial tissue, starts to grow outside the uterus. Okay. And there's 5 stages, which a lot of people don't realize there's 5 stages. But at stage 4, it's growing outside the reproductive area of the body. So I have it on my colon, it was on my ovaries, it was on my lungs, it's in my intestines. And so that tissue, every month when you cycle, right, it kind of builds itself up no matter where it's at in your body. And then it releases. And when it releases, and it's even in my skin now, when it releases, it still bleeds. And so you have internal bleeding, you've got all this other stuff going on, you've got pain and just irritability, and your body just feels off.
So there were 2 things that was going on at the time that was caused. So was it those 2 things that was causing one or the other?
Yeah.
Or?
Well, they work together. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
The undiagnosed celiac disease was causing the endometriosis to get worse. What I found very interesting as I started to study and research it after I was diagnosed is in the UK, there's a doctor that had done a lot of research around endometriosis, which causes infertility. And part of the triggers and the foods that feed those, they call them growths, right? Or implantations, is wheat and sugar.
Okay.
And those are very common in our diet in America. They're in all your processed food. They're in our potato chips, right? They're everywhere. Wheat and sugar is like staples for us. And so after I found out that from Dr. Mills's research that those were contributors to making it worse, and then finding out I had celiac disease, which also is where my body doesn't process wheat, barley, or rye. Okay. I had to figure out how to eat again.
Okay, so how was this interfering with your daily life?
Yeah, interfering in the fact that symptoms not only show up as chronic pain and irritability and these super long menstrual cycles, but it also shows up in malnutrition, exhaustion. Like I would leave work and skip out of work to go take a nap in the parking lot or somewhere else and then go back into work to finish my day. Or I would go home and take a nap before I could even make myself dinner.
Okay, so it was taking a lot of energy from you,
Rich?
basically. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds
Yes,
like it.
a lot of energy, a lot of emotional energy too.
So that, yeah, that
Yeah.
had to be hard to get up every day to go to work, and knowing that these symptoms would occur, and that would occur every month or every 60 days. How?
It depended. Eventually, it got down to it was every 3 weeks. I would have these symptoms. And for anybody that's ever had a Charlie horse in your leg,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what it feels like inside
Painful.
your like
Oh
body.
my
It's like
goodness.
severe cramps. And I don't know. There was no way to get rid of it. So I started in my late 20s. I was turning to alcohol and painkillers. And
And
now
I've heard that alcohol, yes, alcohol is like it numbs.
it numbs,
Yes,
but
yes.
it's a high sugar content. So here I was making it worse
Okay.
without even realizing it.
Because of the sugar, what was the sugar actually?
The sugar causes those implants to grow bigger.
Oh my gosh, because of the particles, because it's hard to digest the sugar. So the particles that is entering into your body is harder to get rid of. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I ended up in the ER in 2007
Okay.
for an emergency appendicitis attack. And what was interesting as the ER surgeon, I woke up from the anesthesia and he goes, there's something growing on the appendix. The appendix hadn't ruptured, but there's tissue. And trauma surgeon had never seen it.
Okay.
Sent it to pathology. My mom is questioning if it's cancer, like freaking out.
Right.
Any parent would be.
Yeah. I actually had my appendix taken out too. And
Okay.
when I went, they said that it was a mass of some sort. So maybe it was similar to that, but it was non-cancerous. So
Okay.
that makes sense. But yours may have been in a place where they needed to do the surgery. What?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that's how they found the endometriosis, though. So I probably started having the disease when I was 14 or 15, and they didn't find it till I was 27, 28. Because they had never opened me up or done any scopes or anything in my stomach.
So you didn't even know at the time that it was appendicitis. You just felt
No,
pain and you needed to go to the ER. So that at that time they found not only was that going on, they found uh, the other problem too,
yep,
which was good, right? All at the same
exactly.
time.
All at the same time. They
Yeah.
they sent me to an endocrinologist to treat the endometriosis, who then also diagnosed the celiac disease, which is related to my gut. And so all within 6 months, God had kind of put this in place, even though I thought I was dying,
Right.
to come up with like, this is what is truly wrong. So how do we treat the root problem?
Okay. So going through this. So this is at the point. Is this at the point when you were having infertility, or was it before?
So
Okay.
yeah, so I was married the first time I was married when I was 18 years old.
Hmm.
And at the point where I had just gotten divorced because he wanted children. I couldn't have children. We couldn't figure it out. So it was another high stressor. I just went through a divorce. I was living in a new town, pretty much alone. And, um, and had went through like almost 10 years in infertility treatments or different things going on. I actually had a total of 14 years of infertility treatments before we had success.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like giving up?
Yes. And I actually, if you talk to some of my friends that have known me like 8, 10 years, they will tell you that I was starting to research adoption because
Oh,
I was like, all right, this is never
yes.
going to happen for me. What are the other choices? What is the cost? What is the legal? Like, and we had started that research.
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh,
we found an Eastern medicine doctor in Chicago who was board certified in infertility treatment and endocrinology,
oh wow.
which is truly amazing, like awesome combo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was amazing for you to find that. So that was like a miracle. So
that
you
was
know.
a little miracle in itself. Yes.
Exactly. So, was there any kind of thing or like issues that was telling you about that may have made you feel afraid or scared?
Not really, because
Good.
so what was interesting is he took the approach of he only treated you if you started doing a whole bunch of stuff, including counseling, acupuncture. Like he had a protocol at the time. I was like, I'm not crazy. Why do I need to go see all these people?
Right. Okay.
But it kept you from getting fearful while you were working with him as a doctor.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So
You
he took
have
that
a
whole
positive
approach
mindset. Okay.
that I hadn't had before.
Oh my God. That is.
And then he also nutrition, right? Registered dietitian nutrition, and said you have to go on a paleo diet.
What was it called?
He put me on a paleo diet. So
What is a You said
no
paleo.
paleo, yeah.
Okay.
So no grain, no sugar, and no dairy.
Oh, okay. So you already couldn't ingest what is it, wheat
Mm-hmm.
anyway? So okay, so that it really didn't make a difference. You wasn't doing it anyway.
I wasn't doing it anyway,
Right,
but I
right.
was still doing dairy, and so he took the dairy away.
Okay, okay.
Right, so no more cheese, no more milkshakes, none of
Mhm.
that stuff. And within 9 months, we were pregnant.
Oh my goodness. And so it just the diet change?
I think it had to do honestly with mindset.
Yeah.
Like he had me go get blessed, and he himself was Pakistani, right? And he's like, I don't care what religion you are or what you believe in, but you go whoever you go to and you get blessed. Again, mental mindset thing or spiritual.
Yes.
Um, he had me working with a vision person to visualize being pregnant and doing vision, like visionary stuff, which now, as I look back, that's like a form of meditation, right? And then he changed the diet, and that was kind of all he
That
had to really
is
change.
amazing. So how many children did you have?
We had 3 in 3 years.
Oh my goodness. God bless you, girl.
I was a little nuts. Um,
Amazing. That's such a
yeah,
great story. Like you would never think that, going through these few changes, that these things would, happen for you.
yeah.
And you had no issues with the birth of your children?
So I had an early birth, right? She was fine. She spent a few days in the NICU. And then when I went into labor, I had a C-section for my second one, and then went into labor with my third one, which would be what they call a VBAC, like a vaginal delivery after a C-section. And my colon ruptured.
Okay.
So that was a traumatic experience.
Absolutely. Can you walk us through a little bit
Yeah.
of that?
So because of the endometriosis disease, while I was pregnant with my third daughter, the uterus and the colon had fused together. So the back of the uterus and the front of the colon had become like a single organ. And when I went into contractions, the colon is not made to stretch that much. Your uterus definitely can stretch and give and do what it needs to, but the colon is it is made to like compress and do its job, but not to that extent. And because as for most of us, when we have consecutive children, we go into labor faster, we deliver faster, the more you have, right?
Mhm.
And so from the time I went into labor till the time she was delivered, it was about 45 minutes. Thank goodness I like got an epidural as soon as we walked in the door. But that caused both the uterus after the C-section and the colon to basically rupture. And I was about an hour and a half from bleeding out by the time they got me into an operating room.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like that just gave me, like chills and
It's
this feeling like that is scary.
very scary. It's taken
For
me honestly
oh,
a long time. It took me, I went back to counseling because I was like, I have to be able to tell people the story. And then I find out I'm not the only one that this has happened to. Like I've met a couple of other people that it has happened to as well. But because of the epidural, when they rolled me into the ER, the OB on staff had also been an Army medic, which another God blessing. So he opened me up knowing that I couldn't feel anything, even though I was still awake, and started cauterizing to stop the bleeding.
oh wow.
that was more scary, seeing that happen in front of you, than knowing that I may never I don't know. I kissed my daughter and I kissed my husband, but at the time I was like, I'll be back, even though I
Okay.
really don't know. But the
Yeah.
scarier part was watching them operate on you alive. So for military men and women that have ever had to have that happen, I never want to do that ever again in my life.
Oh my goodness. Like I would have never thought that this was going to be a part of this story today. And
Oh,
for you to be so brave to want to share that experience what you went through is it takes a lot of courage and you know and so I mean hopefully this this broadcast gets out to people out there that's dealing with something similar to this so it can help them through it,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
um because this is amazing. And then afterwards, after all of this, you ended up writing and blogging. You
Mhm.
wrote 16 books and you speak about this and you blog about this.
Yeah.
And what's more of a blessing in disguise is that you were referred to me from
Mhm.
someone.
Interesting.
And we talked
We
briefly,
did, yeah.
you know um and so this is really important to you, isn't it, to
It
share?
is. It's important for two primary reasons. One, for people that have had this to happen, know that there is something on the other side. Because for a long time, like I said, I didn't go to counseling right away. I couldn't talk about it. I didn't even write a birth story. And for me, that's unusual because I had written pages about the others. And we didn't take a lot of pictures. Like the poor child doesn't have pictures till she's 3 months old because I was still struggling with almost like post traumatic stress. I hate to
Absolutely.
call it that, but clinically, that's kind of where it was.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
it's important for me to talk about it because there are other people that deal with that on a daily basis and they don't know always how to get up in the morning or deal with anything in their life. And it's scary. The other thing is the second important thing for me to talk about it is that it's a second chance. And
Hmm.
for people that have, for whatever reason, gotten a second chance and they know they have a second chance, you better get up and do something with it because you don't really get third chances in life.
Oh my goodness, that's powerful what you just said. Just to go through that experience and to be able to live and do these daily activities that you enjoy doing, and to have to say that is really really powerful. And a lot of us take it for granted, take everything that is blessed upon us, we take it for granted. Just the littlest things to us may seem like it's really nothing, but really it is. Everything that we have is it's a blessing, and it all works for us in some way, shape, or form.
We just don't.
So I appreciate you for even saying that part, just a second chance. So when you talk about second chances, tell us a little bit about your evolution. When,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I like, to me, it is truly a second chance in life. My first life was a wreck. Just was.
Mhm.
Um, Now I know that through talking and through just being open and being authentic, that I am able to help other people. I went back to school and I finished a wellness coaching certification with functional medicine because I truly believe in holistic integrated medicine. It got me my 3 children that
Nice.
I was never supposed to have. So like my miracles come from that integrated practice.
Wow.
Um,
And
and
that's, oh, go ahead. Uh-huh.
Oh, I was going to say, and I applied for a school where a medical degree was required and I petitioned to get in and I still got in because when you do have that second lease on life, like there should be nothing to stop you. If you feel it's your purpose, it's your thing, it's your whatever it is that you've been given to do, you just got to keep asking because eventually they say yes.
Oh, wow. So going to a particular school, right? It was
Yeah.
this school for one that you needed to have a special kind of degree, and you were able to get into this school
Yeah.
after just being a little persistent
A
with.
little persistent, writing about my own story and about my health history and why it was important to me and why I felt called to do this. Um, yeah, and there's only 3 of these currently. There'll be more, I'm sure, but there's 3 schools for functional medicine coaching in counseling. So I petitioned to the one that has headquartered here in Chicago. Um,
So what else goes into the I don't want to say it wrong, the what is it, the integrated hold on. As far as okay, the functional health.
yeah.
So what actually goes all into that?
So, and that's an awesome question because that's something that now I'm so passionate about.
Hmm.
Functional medicine, functional health looks at the body as a whole, right? Traditional medicine looks at the body in systems or compartments. Like you have a neurological doctor you go to, you have your endocrinologist you go to, you have your osteo doctor, right? You have all of your gastro doctor, you have all your components of your body. But when it comes to functional medicine, it's almost like all those little individual doctors have a board meeting and they come together and they look at your body as a whole. They always use the analogy of a tree, which I absolutely love because we are living and growing and we breathe and trees breathe. But if you think of a tree, the root of or the trunk of the tree is like your DNA, right? It's what you're born with, your hereditary things. The
Okay.
leaves and the branches become those systems that
Okay.
work together. And
Uh-huh.
those systems then get symptoms, right? So you might
Right.
have a tree with black spots or some slugs or I don't know, some bugs ate it, holes in it, whatever. So
Okay.
you've got headaches or, or gas going on or bloating or whatever you got going on. Their systems have issues. But the roots of the tree are the roots that really define us too as people. It's the water, it's the food we eat, it's the environment we live in, it's our stress level. For a lot of us, the weather affect how our bodies feel. So
Mhm.
when you start to look at those lower components that feed a tree, a lot of that have a healthy body.
Okay. So say that last part again because something happened with the reception there.
Oh, sorry. So when you look at the roots of a tree, a lot of what it needs to live and be a healthy, growing tree is the same stuff that a human needs to be a healthy human.
To be healthy. I like that too because that does make sense when you think about the integrated medicine.
Yeah.
And to actually because you're right, a lot of people, I mean, we are aware of medicine that when we go to the doctor or whatever, yeah, you know what I mean, like when we go to the hospital or our our doctor visits, we are just, they just find that one problem and try to take care of that one is not the root.
It may not be.
It may not be the root problem. So it can, and also can cause some other problems too. So it can kind of like spread and make things worse within those branches is what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about
absolutely.
the tree, right?
Yeah.
So I absolutely like that analogy to use that. So is there anything more to it that we should know? Because this is the first time that I've heard about this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
getting educated too. So I'm
I
like
love it.
into this.
It's been around for hundreds of years. It's coming back though, like new and refreshed. And what's cool about functional medicine is it's recognized by Mayo Clinic.
Mm,
Cleveland Clinic has their own functional medicine area now too. That's ran by Dr. Mark Hyman. Um, if you follow Josh Axe or Dr. Oz, they both talk about it in their own realm. But the other thing I think to keep in mind is it's mind, body, and soul. And so a lot of people don't necessarily think about that when they think of medicine and health, but it is so much all three of those that work together.
mhm.
So when you do see a doctor of functional medicine, they are going to look for the root. What is the problem that's affecting all of it, or what are the
Okay.
few
Okay.
problems that are affecting all of it? And then they're going to treat it in those three areas at the same time.
Oh, that's really like a like powerful, super powerful kind of miraculous, kind of cure to be able to utilize that type of, especially when you have options. You want to, I would prefer going that route. Over what, but would you say that's more of a preventive type of way to go? Is that more of a,
It can
prevent.
be for preventative, but
Yeah.
it's also, I see it very, very helpful for people that have a chronic disease because there's no cure. And so when you can come at that chronic condition, so let's take heart disease as an example, right? For most people, if you have heart disease, you're put on some medication. They never really, not everybody goes and gets a brand new heart. You can't fix it once you have the disease. But if you can treat heart disease with medicine, nutrition, right?
Yeah.
Spiritual, whether it's meditation or some other modality, and then some mindset, so that you are okay with having the disease, but learning to live with it with lifestyle. That's like one of my huge things I work with people on is lifestyle. Like, what are things that you have to rearrange, or what are things in your schedule that you have to now put in place because you have this for the rest of your life?
Right, exactly. And that's something I was going to add. Well, as far as like your the way that things change, your daily routines, they change. And and especially when you do have a chronic disease, things, will happen like really abrupt, and there's going to be some really serious changes that you need to go by every single day, like with these changes, because if you skip anything, or you allow yourself to go through like a lot of stress, and you're not really abiding by your own symptoms and what you're feeling, then it could damage so much more within the symptom itself or the problem itself, right? So yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
okay, there we go.
absolutely.
Okay. So so yeah, so as far as this, and with your the way that you live your life and your daily
Yeah.
routines, like how are you now opposed to where you were then?
So what's crazy is I have this energy that people ask me how I have it. I'm in my 40s and I feel like I'm 16 with the amount of energy that I wake up with. Um, my other huge thing is when I was super sick, I'm
Hmm.
a short person. I wear heels all the time because I don't like being short, but I am a short person.
Uh-huh.
And I weighed about 60 pounds more. And so I was this little roly poly person because of the inflammation and just the way that which my body was. And when I got my like a new lifestyle, not only do I get my energy back, but I get the shape that my body was meant to be,
Right,
right?
right, exactly.
Which is
Yeah,
healthy. It's not necessarily skinny, or it's not like I diet all the time, but it's just a
right.
healthy shape, and it helps your joints and it helps just your confidence. And it's just like, this is how I was made to look and be, and I'm good with it. And I don't have that pain, right? I don't have those abdominal cramps anymore really much.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. So when we talk about that, because I know this is kind of leading into like the 5 lifestyle
yeah.
wellness strategies that we can use every day. And so yeah, we can go into that now.
Okay. So
Okay.
there's basically 5 things that I always suggest. These are things that I do every single day. I work with people to life as well. So it's not something you add, it's something you just evolve into.
Mm-hmm.
Sure that you're nutrient dense. So that means eating more vegetables. For women, it's 6 cups of vegetables. And for some people, that freaks them out. They're like, I don't even get 1 cup of vegetables, and you're asking me to eat 6. But I love that we have smoothies and juices and so many variety and options anymore, or just choosing to eat a vegetarian meal for one of your meals will get you to your vegetable intake.
Yeah, they even have like the little veggie snack trays at the grocery store. You can get I eat those all the time. Every day I have one of those. So if you want to have 6 cups, you can get a few of those, or a couple of those, and eat it. At work if
Yes,
you can, or on your lunch.
absolutely. It doesn't have to be disruptive. It can just become part of your routine.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then water, right?
Right.
Making sure you get enough water so
Yes.
that your body's hydrated.
Absolutely. And it flushes out so many, impurities and toxins. And if something is trying to, manifest, that water and vegetables will take care of it. So
Yeah,
prevent it. We want to prevent these things from happening. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
The third one is some sort of physical movement. It can be something as simple as yoga, or or something as strenuous as cardio, but you want to do 20 minutes 5 times a day. Or not
Oh,
5 times a day, 5 times a
oh,
week.
I was
20
like,
minutes,
oh,
5 times a week. I said that wrong. No, 20 minutes, yeah. And for some people I'm working with, they're like, I don't have time to go to the gym. And I'm like, well, don't go to the gym. When you decide to go to shopping, park in the very last parking spot, walk into the store, walk around the store, get what you need, walk all the way back out, and you probably have your 20 minutes.
there you go. And it's nothing wrong with, some people think I'm crazy because I like to, I don't mind walking. Like I'll park away just so I can get my walk in. Because if I'm going to be, at work or, just sitting all day, I like to get my walk, and it just gives you, just kind of revives you, and it gives you that energy, that extra little boost of energy. It may not be a whole lot if you walk in a couple of minutes, but it helps,
It
you know.
so helps.
Yes. So I think a lot of people should stop, trying to look at everything being so convenient and try to be, inconvenience yourself a little bit
A
sometimes.
tiny little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one is to declutter. So pick one day a week and throw something or give something away, because physical clutter or even clutter in our mind, or it it manifests, the stress does, into our adrenals, which affects our cortisol and our hormones, and that's all scientific. But just think like the day of trash day or the day before trash day, clean out one drawer in your bathroom or one drawer in your kitchen, or clean I don't know, we have a front table that I feel like just piles up with random
Hmm.
things and mail, and I don't know. It's like, just swipe it off.
Hmm.
But just take a little bit of clutter out once a week, and it will relieve some of that stress.
Okay.
And then the fifth one is a bath, and it's an Epsom salt bath.
Oh,
So,
yay. Uh-huh.
yeah, Epsom salt is super high in sulfur and magnesium, which is something where most of us are deficient in.
Hmm.
And we actually need those minerals in order for our body to produce healthier cells.
I love that because I take an Epsom salt bath once a week. And I don't, they say that it's good for, like muscle aches
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. And if you do have that, that's great. I don't have any of that. I just like taking my Epsom salt baths and putting, my bubble bath in there as well. And
Yeah.
just soak in it, because our skin is our largest organ anyway. So we need to take care of it and allow again for those toxins to get out somehow too. So it's not just the internal; it needs to come out too.
Absolutely.
The salt and all of that just absorbs into your skin, cleanses you, and then you feel energized. They have like different types of Epsom salt, whether that's detoxing or if it's replenishing. Certain ones that they have, and you can just go in and whatever you're feeling for that month, however long it's going to last you,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. So I like those
They're just,
5 lifestyle strategies.
yeah. Yeah, simple, yet they're all very effective. And they shouldn't be an add-on or feel like you've got to do something super hard to get a little.
Yes, just a little tender love and care. So, do you do this every day? These things you just mentioned, you do.
I do them. Yeah, I do an Epsom salt soak about 3 days a week. And
Okay.
I just found a new one I love. It's got CBD in it, like a little bit of CBD in the Epsom salts, and that's like my new favorite brand.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, really? What is the brand of that one? Is it called CB? No, it's
Clean
not.
Remedies. No, it's Clean Remedies is the brand. It's
Okay.
anyway. But that's like my new favorite.
Okay.
Like you were saying, you can get so many different kinds of salts and muds and all of that fun stuff. But I
Yes.
do that at least 3 days a week. Everything else I pretty much do daily.
Okay, that makes sense because everything else, yeah, would definitely be able to, you can add that into your schedule, especially if you're not trying to call yourself busy all the time, because you need to make time for yourself to
Yes.
do these things. So these are the things that has gotten you back into feeling alive, and that you can basically you have a healthy lifestyle. You can do things that you love doing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so you have 3 children.
Mhm.
Okay. and so they're fine with the lifestyle. Like I know they have to be eating healthy too, right?
They are, yeah. So, two of them had food allergies when they were super little, and we had EpiPens. They've outgrown those, so they were on a regimen diet to begin with. And then I have a child with celiac like myself, so she eats mostly my diet. Um,
Okay,
we got some big vegetable eaters, which is surprising for some people,
that's good. Yeah,
cucumbers and stuff. And yeah, for the most part, they're pretty healthy. They grow a garden in our backyard. They're learning the lifestyle.
that's wonderful to be able to teach them gardening and because most of these foods out here have the chemicals and if you're going organic, it's so expensive. So teaching them that is wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so would you say that is it kind of tough
It's,
maintaining them and your own diet, or how would you?
I wouldn't say it's tough because it's just become our life. And I was already living it before I had them. So they just kind of were brought into what we were already doing. The toughest thing that I had to like learn and overcome was birthday parties and celebrations and having to figure out, oh, well, we just have to pack food and take it with us, or I need to call ahead and talk to the restaurant or whoever's got stuff going on. Um, that was probably the hardest thing.
Okay.
And then for my middle daughter, we also for a little while worked with a counselor
Mm-hmm.
because she does have to be on a different diet than most of the people at school, and for her to just mentally be okay with that.
Okay. And how did you teach them about labels and gluten free and things like that? Yeah.
So we started label reading, and they could say that they needed to be gluten free before they could even read. And
Oh.
then there are apps on your phone. So if you're okay with your kids doing games and whatnot, they have these apps that teach them how to read labels.
Oh.
And like, and they get points on this game, and they learn about,
Mhm.
what is gluten and what is not gluten. And so to
That
me,
is
some of
so
those
cool.
phone apps are amazing for them to learn it in a game format.
Yes. Like who told you about the apps?
We were at one of the gluten-free expos, actually in San Francisco, I think, because I go to about 12 a year, and somebody was there with like a little thing about the app, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out, and then downloaded it and was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
So they actually really go in if they're well, I guess they're too young to really try to cook anything, but because they're what ages are they
We have
again?
8, 7, and 5.5.
Okay. So yeah, the 8-year-old should be, kind of helping you out during like the holidays or something like that. Like, oh mom, I don't think we can use this. Is this what I think it is?
Yeah. So
Sort
her and the 7-year-old, they're pretty good about reading. I'm
of-
trying to get them now to learn how to read sugar on a label
oh my God.
and like look for sugar content and try to, in their mind, think like no more than 5 sugar grams per item.
Right. That's
Or if when we start doing more math, like how do we keep it under 30 a day for a child?
oh, that's really good. That's a really great way to teach children or anybody. I mean, I go in the store and I just pick up, whatever I like and don't even watch that. And that's something that should be considered. Like I was telling a friend of mine not too long ago, I stopped putting sugar in my coffee just because I just feel like over time it's going to, cause harm to me. So I don't want to, if I'm drinking a certain amount, which is around 3 cups a day, I want to
Mm-hmm.
try to eliminate it now, especially going through. I think I had a guest talking about it. And I said, you know what, let me stop doing that. And actually it's no big deal. I can count more of what I'm doing as far as my sugar intake. So
Yeah.
taking that out, I'm good now. I'm
For
really, really
like
good.
their dad's family, type 2 diabetes runs in that family. So for them to learn about sugar now versus probably when they're 50 or 60 and then it's a problem, I feel like will help.
Absolutely. Yes. To prevent anything like that from happening down the line. That's great. So if you can tell people where they can find you, your books and websites and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Thank you. So gfmomcertified.com is our website. GM certified. So program books we have the mainly all gluten-free cookbooks. Go over to Amazon and just type my name in, Tiffany Hinton. There's about 16 that should pop up on Amazon. Our we actually have a soul food cookbook for anybody that is like, I've never been able to cook gluten-free soul food. And it's called Celebrates Heritage. It's on Amazon. It's one of the best sellers because it was one of the very first Southern cookbooks with gluten-free options.
Wow, that is very good.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it? That's the only places? So website?
Website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay.
Oh, we have a YouTube channel. Oh, I
Oh,
never mentioned that. Yes, we have a YouTube channel, GF Mom Certified. A lot of health information, um, healthy tips, lifestyle habits. There's some older videos that you'll actually probably see my kids in the kitchen decorating different things because we used to do a lot of like kitchen videos showing people how to do different techniques and stuff too.
oh, good. Okay, well, great. This was so informative. I really, really, really appreciate you being on, Tiffany. You have no idea. It was so informative, and to have a health and wellness segment for this week is just really, really phenomenal. So I really appreciate you telling your story and sharing that, and just being brave and courageous just to share that because that can be tough.
Thank you so much, Renee. I appreciate it. And I'm so honored tonight to be able to be here and share.
Thank you. And I just want to leave off with anyone that wants to be on the Renee Adams Show. And if you have an inspirational story, if you have a product or service that you would like to promote on the show, you can get in contact with me. You just inbox me through Facebook. And if you're new here on Facebook on my channel, give us a like, comment. Both me and Tiffany love new people, new followers. So please, you know. Give us a like and follow. I can only accept followers. I believe you can only accept followers too on
Yeah.
your page. Yeah. So if you could do that for us, that would be awesome. And tomorrow I have another show with my special guest. So if you guys could join me tomorrow, I have a actress that's going to be on for from Stars Power series that's out right now. So that's going to be exciting. Everyone join us, and Tiffany, come join us too.
That would be so exciting. I might do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Tiffany, for being here. And everyone out there, have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.